Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Raider. It's Monday morning, March 23rd, 2020, recording from my very own in-house home studio. What I'm going to show you today is how to use a Weebly website builder or another platform of your choice to create a website that will help to raise awareness for your quality of life issue. So if we look at the PowerPoint for today's lesson, that's exactly what the aim really speaks to, is how will the creation of a website enhance your ability to raise awareness about your issue. As you can see, there's no longer any homework numbers. There will be no homework for the second marking period going forward, but that does mean that all the work that we're doing is remote, so technically it is at home. As you can see, the website itself will be due next week, March 30th. There will be daily check-ins each and every day that you will be posting assignments so I can check in and see how you're doing. Please reach out to me via email. I will respond to you. Uh, in the included attached document, you can keep this open with the assignment out or look at the assignment a little later. But I'm going to run you through the lesson. I'm going to do it in hopefully under 10 minutes. That's the goal. And I'm going to start with the opening question for the do now. It'd be great if I could actually have the conversation with you all, but I'm going to start with thinking about companies and businesses, why they create websites in the first place. So the question states, why do nearly 100% of large corporations and 60% of small businesses have websites? Think of it from a marketing perspective when you're trying to create a target audience, from anything from consumer goods to electronics to cars, even to hats that people might wear to support their favorite team, even when the season's canceled for the moment. How does it help them to sell their products? So if you look at this site, sure, we all know Amazon, Amazon.com. You could buy virtually anything on that website. If you notice, look at the layout itself, consider why they have very specific tabs, linking to your own account, deals that they might have, buying gift cards, connecting to their Whole Foods department, thinking about orders, thinking about the cart, and also upselling through a prime marketing campaign. Likewise, even a local grocery store such as Key Food, they are going to have a lot of information online. You can see where stores are located in your neighborhood. You can shop online. You can look at the weekly circulars. There's a mobile app information. So there's a lot of different ways that you can approach building of a website. Now, since we're going to be using a free website building platform, we're not necessarily going to get into that level of detail. What I want you to do first, take a look at these two websites, click on the links, think about how they present their information to you as the audience. Which one do you think is doing a better job? If the answer is not readily apparent, by all means reach out to me, but I think it'll be clear. This is the first one. And again, just notice how the page is spread out, the information that's included, the information that's not included. This is the second page. Again, just going to point out, without giving too much away, think about how the information is presented and the tabs that you can click on to learn more information. So I want you to look at this quote, and I want you to be able to write in your Google document to what extent do you agree with the quote. So the quote reads as follows. It says, effective websites create consistent and functional systems for navigation, so how you're going to scroll through the page, graphics, page layout, and title languages so that the user knows where to go, what to do, and encourages them to return. So a brief response to that quote. Any connections you can make, websites you've looked at in the past. Okay, so this is the big part. How do we organize the website? And this is going to take us a couple of days to really unpack and to really fully develop. But for today, all I really want you to do is start thinking about the most important information that you've learned in your background research and in your research and analysis papers that's leading you to a particular recommendation idea. Okay, so if you're thinking about the homepage of your website, as the assignment prompt is going to make pretty clear, you really want to speak to what your project is. Don't include your name by any means because the products do have to be anonymous, but there should be some connection that this is a public policy research paper. You're doing this for a quality of life innovations class. The About Us page really kind of speaks to that. In terms of the organizing of the other tabs, I am including a custom animation here. So two of them are mandatory, one of them is optional. So later in the week, I'm going to show you all how to do petitions, your way to gather evidence and gather support for your particular idea. and links to useful resources or statistics that can be very useful for you to explain to your audience what it is that you in fact have learned, and thinking about design what you might want to include. Okay, so this is the actual assignment itself. Note that the tentative due date was March 23rd. That was me operating on the assumption that the schools would not be closed, but since they are, it's still a 1-week project. It's just going to be due March 30th as opposed to March 23rd. And I will give you a more detailed explanation of that when I get the Google Doc open. I'm just going to read the overview. So in order to implement your quality of life recommendation, you must first attempt to raise awareness to the extent to which your issue impacts the community at large. Now to do this, you and your partner are going to create an informational website. You can use Weebly, Wix, GitHub, or another platform of your choice. When I do the modeling, it's going to be using Weebly. I don't have the skill set to really show you GitHub. I could figure out Wix with you if you wanted a one-on-one, but I'm going to show you Weebly. That will contain relevant resources related to your issue, along with the most salient or important findings from your research over this year. Okay, so where can you go to find the information? This is where you want to look back at your background paper, your field research, and whatever you've done so far in terms of putting together a recommendation. This is a really useful website. It's actually hyperlinked at the bottom of your document. It literally shows you step by step by step how to actually build the website. They say to be able to do it within 60 minutes or less. It may take you a little longer. It's fine either way. I'm going to give you a whole week to do it. And they break it down. One thing I do want to emphasize when you're creating a domain option, make sure that you click subdomain of Weebly.com. Otherwise, they're going to ask you for a credit card. They're going to ask you to pay because a lot of businesses, including the second website that I showed you before, they use Weebly, they use Wix because they may not have a software engineering background. They may not be able to hire a coder to actually code the website for them. So it is something to be aware of. Now, this kind of breaks it down: homepage and about us, resources, and take action. These are just some screenshots from the Weebly website itself. You can select a theme, and again, you'll notice that they do break down the different tabs for different options. Again, when you go to choose a website domain, this part is really important. Make sure you click subdomain of Weebly.com. It would mean that it'll be whatever website you create as the URL, .weebly.com. This is one that I put together 2 years ago. If you go to the actual website, you'll see that it's not fully built out. It just has 1 or 2 pages actually developed. This one was looking at a bike safety initiative. In the background is a picture I took when I went on a bike ride to Jones Beach, which is in Long Island, Nassau County, New York. And that's the famous Jones Beach Boardwalk. You have many different options. You can look at the pages themselves. You can add in new tabs. You can look at themes, settings. Again, just spend some time looking at it. Email me with questions. This is one of the about pages. So I took a map, bike riding map with bike lanes of Brooklyn, and put it up. And I included information to another website called Bay Ridge Cycling Routes, and I included the source. Please make sure you include sources for any information that is not your original information. And we're going to look at later in the week several former student websites to really see what that actually looks like. When you click your website, you'll click publish, and you will literally copy and paste that link into Google Classroom probably on Friday to actually show that you were able to put it together. Okay, and really the summary is just thinking about how the building of the website will help you to implement your recommendation idea. Let me open up this document. This is what you will have in front of you. You'll notice again the aim is the same. The do now, I wrote see video and PowerPoint for screenshots. Quote, information. Don't worry about the petition yet. We will look at it later in the week. These are the 4 things that you need to include in your website. Again, you want to consider a homepage that has key information. You want to include an About Us page, resources, and eventually going into the petition. Notice the deadline is updated here. For today, please just fill this part out, the organizer. Like, what would you put on your homepage? Like, what was the most important thing from your background paper that you learned? Or the most important thing from the research and analysis, the data section. For the About Us, again, information that you're a high school student, you're working on a quality of life innovations paper for your government class in economics, and it's a public policy paper. resources and links. There's a lot of really useful things you can put in there. Again, for now, you're just putting in the information. If you want to build the website already, you're welcome to do so, but take it one day at a time. That's my advice. If you go to this, it'll ask, press Control link. It'll bring you to the actual website, which I'm going to open up here. This is the website itself. And I'm just going to quickly scroll down so you can see it. As you'll notice, they literally include screenshots of everything that you would want to put in. You include the theme, focus on your goal. For the domain name, again, just to reiterate, you want to make sure that you do the subdomain. This way you don't have to pay for it. This is really designed for those that want to actually build a business. They break down the editor and how the elements work. These are all the different things that you can do. So there's a lot of really good information here. Make sure you keep that screen up. Site-wide features with the site tabs. Adding pages, navigation. Again, there's a lot to this, so I'm just going to do a quick scroll so you can see just how much there is. And again, when you start building this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, literally just go one number at a time, one step at a time. And that will allow you to put in the information you want, images, visuals, you put video links. There's a lot you can do to make a really good website. And that's what distinguishes the website from, say, a Google slide presentation or a flyer, which really wouldn't be judged that highly, mainly because it doesn't really show the same level of effort that you would put into building a website itself. And again, they do bring up Wix as one of the other ones. Again, they do have a free option with that one as well. If you have the SCP background and you would like to use GitHub, you're more than welcome to code your own website. You will have time to do that. All right, I hope this was informative. Again, please do reach out to me. My goal really simply for today, just get the organizer itself done, have the information that you need so that your website is off to a really good start. All right. Hope you all have a really nice day. Take care. Bye.